Hi there folks, this is Brian Hess with the Triton Voyages. Got my hair cut last week. Looks a lot better now. I'm starting to look kind of shaggy. So I haven't updated anything on YouTube for a while, and I've done lots and lots of video and lots of pictures and stuff, and a lot has been going on the last month or so. I've been doing a lot of cruising, been spending a lot of time on the boat now that I'm living aboard, obviously. Getting pretty good at maneuvering the boat in and out of the dock without using any of the engine, because still the engine's not working. I thought by putting a new battery on it that might, you know, incite some spark or something to get it going, but that didn't help, so I'm gonna have to rewire my instrument panel apparently. So oh well, it is what it is. But otherwise, you know, I haven't had any new incidences with the mainsail ripping. I think it's gonna last at least until the end of the season. I did find one online that was affordable, that's as a replacement. It's a used one, and it actually has dimensions that are pretty close to what this rig takes. And the ironic thing is because how tall the rig is on this boat, I'm actually having to shop in the 35 plus range for my 33-foot sailboat. So I just got this really tall rig. It's a racing boat, so they have a lot of square footage to take advantage of the wind. I did get some new lighting fixtures for down below. There are these really cool LEDs, and there's one of them right there. They're LED with dual banks, and you can twist it, and this part comes out like a towel rack, and then you can pull this out and it sets up like a tripod. It's really cool. Or you can hold it wherever it is you need light, and it really lights up the down below area nice. I mean, and it's taken me a while to get used to LED lighting, because it's actual real true white, which is really kind of sterile. So it's not the nice, you know, calming yellow light that you get from, you know, regular incandescent light bulbs. So yeah, they do take a little bit of getting used to, but you know, hey, they're great. And if I want the calming light, I can still use my oil lamps. So that's working out pretty well. Living on board the boat full time, I've been reading a lot. I do a lot of audio books also, so I can multitask. So while I've got things going on, I can go on ahead and do that. Yeah, so last month was pretty cool. I did a lot of sailing, a lot more sailing than I've in the last month and a half than I think I've done in probably 3 years. So that works out really nice for me, because I've been wanting to get out on the water, you know, like this for longer trips, and I keep going for longer and longer and longer. And I made a trip to Blake Island, which is one of our state parks. It's in Kitsap County. It's only accessible by boat, and they have buoys around the island. And I first went to the north side of the island, where it's a little bit more exposed. And you know, I kept checking the weather reports, and you know, the weather reports around here are sketchy, because sometimes they'll say that you'll have 2 feet or less, and then it'll end up being a lot more, like you've seen in the video that I posted earlier on this YouTube channel, up in the Hood Canal back here was in June. It gets really, it builds quick. In fact, I tied off to one of the north side buoys, and I came in the dinghy to the marina which is behind this really enormously huge piled up break wall. It's like it's one of the most tallest break walls I've seen around here. And it's such a little marina because originally it was built as part of a convention center, and I guess the company that built it were losing their shirt, so rather than just go bankrupt, they needed to write off more, so they donated it to the state for state parks. So, yeah, hooray for me, right? Because I'm disabled veteran status, so I have lifetime pass that I get to have free usage of all these facilities, which is amazing. It's one of those cool things about living in Washington State, that you can actually go and use these things as a disabled veteran and not have to be, charged for it, which is really cool. Anyway, so I had tied off to this, and I went back on board because I saw the weather was starting to get a little windy out there, and I thought, well, I'll just get back on board and ride it out, and I wanted to get there before it got too rough to take the dinghy out there. So I get to the boat, I get on board, secure the dinghy, and went down below, made some lunch, fell asleep, woke up to hearing a banging sound, and here what had happened was somehow the mooring line to the buoy had come undone, and the boat was heading with the wind towards the marina. And it's like, come on, Triton, you've already beached yourself once this year, let's not go for two. So luckily I caught it, and I threw the anchor over the side real quick and stopped the boat from crashing into the rocks, which would have been horrible. These weird things happen. So lesson learned, don't get complacent about your mooring lines, because even though the bow cleat might look like it's secure and the lines might look like they're secure, double check. Make sure it really is secure, and you'll be a lot happier for it. Anyway, so I fixed that, and now I tie it differently. I usually do a figure 8 with a lock reverse 8 on top of it, and apparently that wasn't enough because it was bucking and heaving so much that it still somehow worked itself loose. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting a couple of extra turns around the whole thing after I do the reverse 8 lock on that bow cleat. And so far I haven't had another repeat incident. I've never had that happen before. I mean, I've been boating for years. I've never had that ever happen before. So this boat, being a 3/4 ton and as big as she is, when she starts bucking and really carrying on, that puts a lot of strain on those lines, and I guess it's enough movement to cause it to work itself loose. So anyway, so when the boat host at the marina saw what had happened, he came out with his powered raft. He had a rubber inflatable, and offered to tow me around to the other side of the island where it was a little bit, a little less exposed, and put me on a different mooring system there. And that worked out really nice, and they were very, very cool. So they really saved my bacon. He's such a great guy. And God help me if I can remember his name, because I would totally give the guy some kudos. Anyway, so if you ever want to go to a really cool state park in Washington State, Blake Island is amazing. It's a beautiful place. The animals, there's lots of wildlife there, and they're not afraid of people. There's raccoons. There's all kinds of birds. I've seen deer. I mean, there was a doe that was standing not even 50 feet away from me. That's how close they get to you. They just don't care. It's really cool because they know they're not going to get hurt, I guess, because they're all protected. And you see squirrels and chipmunks and all kinds of cool little forest critters around. So it's pretty neat. And of course the fishing around the area is really good because that's, it's deep water when you get out away from the island. So you get like coho and so on that come up. close enough to the island. You can do some fishing off your boats, and it's just really cool. Just make sure you have all your paperwork in order, because they do have game wardens that check, and the rangers will check too. But I didn't get accosted or harassed by anybody. It was great. I just stayed on the boat after I went in a couple times, and I said, this is nice. So 3 or 4 days, sitting there on a buoy, enjoying the boat, enjoying the solitude, getting some reading done, and I've read some really great books over the last couple of months. The Outlander by Diane Gabaldon was really good. I loved it. In fact, I'm going to read the rest of the series when I get a chance. Started another series called Fear of the Sky by Stephen Moss that was pretty good. The Martian by Andy Weir is an amazing book. And there's more. There's a lot more. I just finished Revival by Stephen King, which was really good also. Creepy as hell. Although it seemed to take a while for him to get to the apex of the book. But when it happens, wow. Hold on to your hat. It's pretty cool. Doctor Sleep was another one, and that's the sequel to The Shining, and since I hadn't read The Shining in a long time, I read that first. So, yeah, I've read in Joyland. So I've read 4 or 5 Stephen King books just in the last couple of months. I'm reading a book by Philip K. Dick called We Can Build You. I got another one called Voices from the Street. Philip K. Dick is really an awesome science fiction writer. He was friends with Robert Heinlein, and the guy has a wit that's just very sardonic and twisted. It's very cool. In fact, most people are familiar with his work because Total Recall was based off of one of his short stories. It's called We'll Sell You Memories Wholesale. And he's really cool. He's just got this really twisted idea, or had a really twisted idea of what the world was going to be like in the future. And Philip K. Dick died in the early 80s, so unfortunately there won't be any new books from him. Well, unless of course he comes back, right? Reincarnation? So anyway, have been doing a lot of stuff with my veterans organizations. I was planning on going to a DAV thing today, but there's no wind, and it's just really, really, really super calm out there. So I'm hoping here in the next hour it's going to pick up, and if it does, then I'll be able to get over to the dock, and I'll just have to take the ferry and the bus over, I guess. Not something I really wanted to do, but whatever. I spend time at the VFW a few times a week when I'm in town. Marine Corps League has been busy. We unfortunately lost our one of our guys to cancer last week, or the week before last, rather. Sam Martin. He was the organizer for the Toys for Tots for Kitsap County for 33 years, and he was a really very well-loved and respected guy, and I played taps for his services, and so that was kind of and that was just this last Wednesday. It was only a few days ago. So yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on. It's been very, very busy, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't really updated the YouTube channel much. Not to mention the fact that my HTC Evo design is giving me problems because the SD card is corrupted somehow. It won't allow me to erase anything. So because it's so full, I can't take any pictures with my camera phone. So I'm kind of stuck just using my action cam for everything. So that means that I don't upload photos as often as I would like on the fly. And all my video and stuff, I've been uploading it to my laptop. I downloaded a new video editing software. It's called FF Diaporama. It's a open source project for Linux, and I really like the software a lot better than OpenShot. So I'm giving the Voyages a serious facelift. I think it's going to make the program look a lot more professional. So it's taking a while because I had to piece everything together, and I'm still learning the software. So there's certain things that I'm having some difficulty with understanding, because the software, it basically sets up your videos and your still shots like a slideshow, kind of like a PowerPoint presentation, but with the ability of doing like a character generator and doing all these really cool transitions that you would see like with a fader or a switcher in a television studio. So, and I have experience in that because that's what I did in the Navy for several years, was did video programming and editing and as a journalist, so, and on camera stuff. So, but anyway, so I'm gonna start setting sail for today. I am going to Bremerton for a few hours, and then after that I'll probably come back over here tonight, go into the VA or the VFW tomorrow for a couple hours, and then after that I'll probably be heading towards probably going to go towards Illahee for a couple days, because Wednesday I got things going on. I got a friend that lives over here in Port Orchard who's in the Marine Corps League, and he's willing to give me rides back and forth just to pick me up here at the marina on his way out of town. And since we do a lot of office work together for the Marine Corps League, we've been talking about, you know, because Sam was our office guy, and I used to work with him quite a bit, and well, needless to say, now that he's gone, he did enough work for 4 people, so we have to figure all that stuff out. So I'm going to be pretty busy. So there are things going on that kind of keep me in this area, which is okay. Sinclair Inlet's actually kind of pleasant to sail. It's not real violent like the Hood Canal can be. The weather around here is fairly protected. Dyes Inlet's even nicer still, from what I understand, and I want to actually make a trip up there sometime middle of the month, because I have a friend who's a published author, Leslie Bratsbus. She is having a book signing at Barnes & Noble, and I want to go see her because I haven't talked to her in person in almost over a year. So yeah, busy. I'm so busy. My social life, I live on the boat so I can kind of get away from people for a while, and yet my veterans friends out here, you know, it's like I get lassoed. So I get busy all of a sudden, and this is the time of year when that happens, because there's lots of events and car washes and you name it, we got it going on. So we're always trying to stay active and keep in contact, and they're a good support network. So when they're like my family away from home, which is really kind of cool. So anyway, I'm going to sign off for now. I do want to mention real quick though before I do, so hold that thought. My mainsail is hitting a critical point where I have to decide whether it's time to completely just retire it and use it as a drop cloth, because basically it's just getting old. It's like 39 years old. It's the original main. It came with this boat. I have the original head sails as well, except for I think my working jib is not. I think it's a used one, but all my head sails are in pretty good condition, save my light air Genoa, which is kind of a piece of crap anyway. I would like to be able to buy a whole new set of sails for this boat, but that's way out of my budget right now. I'm hoping here in the next year or two I will be able to. However, that being said, I've been looking at some used mains online, and I found one for under $400 before shipping, and it's the same dimensions as the one that came with this boat, so it will fit this rig. And so long as the bolt ropes fit. I'm not really sure what the bolt ropes are on this boat. I have to have someone look at it because I'm not good at telling those kinds of gauges. But I think it'll fit because from the looks of everything, it's right. So anyway, so basically what I'm doing is I'm looking at the possibility of buying that one if it's still online, maybe next month. This month didn't happen because I had a couple of extra bills I don't normally have. I had to pay for the bottom cleaning that was done earlier in the month, and I had to send some money off to a couple of other places to make sure that things were covered for another month or two. Because next month I got to do some upgrades. I got a new 4-spar tiller extension, and then the ball bearing came out of it. So not happy about that either, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna have to probably take it back and have them replace it because I can't use it. Anyway, so bottom line is that I really would like it if there's any viewers out there who want to donate towards the Triton voyages to kind of keep these things going. You can do so by going to patreon.com. If you become a patron of Triton Voyages, you just sign up. It's really easy. It's free sign up. But if you want to make donations, you can set pledges for however much you want and how often you want and when you want. And that goes towards benefiting this vessel, the upkeep, the maintenance, provisions, filming, equipment, camera gear, stuff that has to be frequently replaced to keep this program alive. So please feel free to check out patreon.com and make your donations there. You'll be able to find me. It's easy. Just type in Brian Hess, BRIANHESS, all together when you do a search, and you'll find me. You'll see my Navy portrait from the Carl Vinson on there. Anyway, so I'm really going to sign off for now. I've got to get out there and try and find some wind so I can get busy. I can see some disturbances now, so maybe I'll get lucky. So thank you for watching the Triton Voyages, and fair winds and following seas.